UMen recommends. Access umen.uk.net.
In the wake of continuing accusations about structural racism at all levels in British society, what conclusions does this report come to that you think are helpful?
Well, I think I have a few issues with this report. I think, first of all, the fact that Tony Sewell was appointed to bring together this report in the first place was problematic for me, because he is someone who has given out anti-gay thoughts in the past. He's made homophobic comments in the past. He's also someone that is long denied, despite research done by people like the Equality Trust, that institutional racism doesn't exist. So of course he wasn't going to find it in this
But let's
report.
talk about the report itself.
I think there are some positives there. I mean, it was good to see that pupils from Black African backgrounds do excellently at school. But then the problem is that when they're moving on to higher educational institutions, when they're moving on to universities, they still have problems with applications, with getting into those universities. So yes, you can do extremely well at school, but if you're not going to move on to higher education and not going to get into those top 1% universities, then it's kind of wasted. Another bit of the report said that there was more people in top companies and top executives and top jobs in the top professions up and down the country, but there's still a pay gap disparity. So there is still a disparity in how much money Black people were being paid as opposed to white people were being paid. So it's all very well and good that you have more Black people in those top jobs, but if they're not being paid as much as their white counterparts, then that is also, that doesn't work as well. So yes, there are some positives within that report. There was also a bit that I found problematic that said young people kind of have this idealism that racism still exists in society, but there's no evidence to support that. Now, I think that
it was it's institutional racism rather than
the report
racism.
definitely says racism exists, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think saying that there's no evidence to support that goes against what it says at the top of the report, where it says that racism still exists, especially online, where, in that echo chamber where people are keyboard warriors and sit behind their computers and say anything and everything to anyone. Look what's happening to footballers week in, week out, who get horrendous amounts of racism thrown at them. Now, I think what we have to do is we have to look at this report, who put it together, and what the evidence is saying. Yes, it says that there's no structural and institutionalized racism in the UK. But I think if you were to really ask Black people in communities, they would tell you different. I think having 10 people go over this, especially someone who doesn't believe it exists in the first place, of course, they're not going to find it.
Did you like this recommendation? Hit the like button and watch it in full by clicking on the link in this video description. All citations recommended here are solely for educational purposes. Our aim is to provide the community with access to the educational/inclusive materials of excellency we come across, yours included. If you hold a copyright of any video or article cited here, or you think they should not be available on our channel, please let us know and we will remove them at your discretion.